This is your sign. What you see in the world is a reflection of how you see the world. Hi, welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Kieran. I'm on a 30-day quest to read from one of my tarot decks or one of my oracle decks and tell you about the artwork, what I see in the deck, what I see in the cards that I pick up, and some kind of interpretation that I hope resonates with you too. Today I'm going to be reading from one of my oldest decks. It's so old that I have lost the box for it, but I have the booklet. It's called the World Spirit Tarot Deck. I believe there's a newer edition of this. I have the original edition. This is probably 20 years old, this set. And this is the deck. The cards are very sturdy, even though I've used them hundreds of times. They have been very good. And they're still good. There's a little bit of roughness on the edges, but I think it just gives them more character. I love these cards. This is my oldest deck. This is the one I used for many years before I ended up getting more decks. So I'm going to read from that and I'm going to shuffle and then we'll get started. In the meantime, please remember to like and share this video. Subscribe to this channel. I'd love to get your subscription, and you can also hit the bell icon so you can get notified every time I put out a new video. And if you know anyone who might be interested in learning more about the tarot, you can please share this video with them. If you're interested in purchasing this tarot deck or any of the tarot decks that I mention in my videos, they're always going to be linked in the description with affiliate links. And I hope that you would get it from there because that will give me a little bit extra support that I could use as I run this channel. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to pick 3 cards from this deck and then do a reading of those cards together for you. Okay, so the cards that came out today, we have the 3 of Swords, we have the 2 of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. 3 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, the Hanged Man. Very interesting combination. I'm going to read you the description of each of these cards from the booklet, which is very much falling apart if you can tell, but I tried to keep it together, put my own duct tape on here. I'm going to read you the descriptions and then go over an interpretation that I think might result from this particular combination. So we have the 3 of Swords. If you notice in this, before I get into the description, this is a figure who is huddling in front of a mirror. He's sort of bent over. And next to the mirror, there is a picture that has 3 daggers in it. That's the 3 of Swords. And then in the mirror, there is someone else, a reflection of someone who is looking in towards the person who is huddled over. This is traditionally the card of betrayal. So I'm going to read from the booklet. 3 daggers pierce the wall of a dark and windowless corridor, pinning up a proclamation heavily inked with sigils and wax. A man turns away, one hand covering his face. His bright robes do little to lift his anguished spirit. A mirror partly reveals an impassive figure. This is the card of sorrow, suffering, and heartbreak. You may be going through a particularly painful experience, such as the end of a friendship or love affair. Things may feel catastrophic, and it's true that nothing will ever be the same again. While undeniably painful, this card holds the key to healing and growth. Tears and woe open us up to the possibility of new beginnings. Such grief literally creates more space in the heart. Now is the time to look through tear-cleansed eyes at your life. Like a river whose course is changed by a flood, you will be a different person after this experience. In our willingness to touch the depths of our misery, we transform. Oh, so powerful. The message of this card is betrayal, grief, loss of someone or something that was very important. Usually a very close friendship or a relationship. Usually some kind of breakup or some kind of betrayal that was revealed. Well, I'll get to the interpretation a little bit later. Let's read the description of the other card. So this is the 2 of Pentacles. Because in the tarot, each card has a meaning, but then when you take them together, there's a whole narrative that can be formed, and that's the part that's really interesting, how you see the cards together. So we have Two of Pentacles. And in here, there is a woman, a person who is balancing or basically juggling two discs. And there's a lighthouse behind her. There's these waves all around her, and she's balancing and juggling these two. And this is a card of balance. So the description reads, a solid figure balances on a rock while juggling two pentacles. The discs up there, the coins. The slickness of the stones does not disturb her steady rhythm. Though the sea is dark, the lighthouse provides clarity. Her expression is sly as she peers over her spectacles at the pentacles in her hands. The Two of Pentacles marks the search for equilibrium during a very busy time. You are juggling a life full of projects and commitments, trying to find the resources to support them all. Your life is a balancing act between worldly affairs and inner challenges, responsibilities and having fun. The juggler's trick is to maintain grace, gaiety, and adaptability in the midst of change. She shows you how to combine outer achievements with inner growth, allowing one to feed the other. If you can manage to keep up your present commitments, this is an excellent time to begin new projects. Money and energy are available for these endeavors, but you will need to take a few risks and make full use of your talents. Even if your hands are full, you have the opportunity to learn to see the sacredness in daily tasks and develop spiritually through work and play. And finally, we have the Hanged Man. Sometimes this is called a hanged one because it's not always a man, but it's basically this idea of a figure who is upside down. This is one of the major arcana cards, the Hanged Man. A muscular man hangs from a bow of Yggdrasil, the sacred tree of Norse mythology. Suspended from one ankle by a cord of flowers, he holds a staff decorated with bits of shell, bone, and feather. As his eyes look within, his expression is peaceful. His hair spreads out into the pool of water below him, swirling with the symbols and patterns forming in the ripples. Suspended between the worlds, the Hanged Man links heaven and earth. He is a visionary, a shaman, a mystic. His connection with the ethereal realm imbues him with psychic powers. When the Hanged Man appears, some element of your life is on hold. You may feel vulnerable and be questioning things you've always taken for granted. Your world may even feel like it's been turned upside down. But have faith. Allow yourself to be in suspense for a while. Let go of having every answer. It may not make any sense to you right now, but a reversal of ideas could be exactly what's needed. The Hanged Man often asks for sacrifice in exchange for his wisdom. Feelings of being stuck or trapped persist only as long as you cling to your usual perspective. If you're willing to give up some belief or attitude that no longer serves you, your reward will be well worth it. You will gain a deeper understanding of your life, and with this new perspective, old dilemmas and chronic problems can be resolved. So the Hanged Man is about surrendering to the bigger picture, to letting go of the ego and becoming aware that there may be other perspectives. And like he's literally hanging, so he's literally looking at the world upside down. We are all in space on planet Earth, and we think of the north as the north and the south as the south, and we have gravity, but actually we're all sort of upside down compared to people on the other side of the earth. There's no actual direction. That's only relative to where we are. So the Hanged Man reminds us that what we have taken for granted, the compass, north, south, east, west, whatever, is all relative to the context and to the perspective. And if we change our perspective, everything looks different. Everything is different. You don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. I didn't realize how prescient that was. Now, if you take these three cards together in the order that I picked them up, they tell a story. Like all spreads can tell a story. And the story that I'm seeing here, these two cards, the Hangman and the Three of Swords, are really about a game changer type situation. A situation where something was lost, a relationship or friendship or some kind of betrayal occurred. And some kind of relationship ended, a friendship or something. Or, a marriage. It could be a divorce or something. But something ended, and it ended pretty brutally in terms of the hurt that it caused. And the Hangman shows that because of the end of that, you had to re-establish your entire perspective on the world. Because maybe you had been relying on this relationship as some kind of identification that you had, a friendship or a community you were part of, maybe some group that you were in, or could be a lot of things. But whatever it was, this was a major part of your life. And therefore, this figure can't even look in the mirror, because the mirror representing their self-image, they can't look at their self-image anymore. Because a lot of times what happens when we get betrayed, we also start doubting ourselves. Not only are we angry or whatever at the people or person who betrayed us, we are also angry at ourselves, because we wonder how we could have fallen for this, how we could have been fooled. That is also a very common aspect of betrayal. And that's the turning away from the mirror, because see, in the mirror, who else is this in the mirror? I mean, you could represent it as whoever betrayed this person, or it could be that person's own guilty conscience of some kind. Maybe they did something that caused the failure of this relationship. Usually it takes two to tango, but even then, even if they didn't, if all they did, they were just naive about it, or maybe they looked the other way while the signs were there, the red flags were there, then that is still that part of them that they don't want to face. They don't want to face themselves, their own mistakes. Maybe some kind of unhealed trauma led them to be in this situation, and they missed the red flags, and then, boom, things ended really badly and they got hurt. And then because of that, now their whole world is upside down. So this is like after you have had your breakup, or after you've been betrayed by your best friend, or whatever it is that happened. Now your world, you can't make sense of it. Up feels down, down feels up. You're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find who you are now, and what is it that you can trust even about yourself, because you have to now rebuild your identity. You have to rebuild new relationships. Maybe you've lost other people, because usually when there's a breakup of some kind, it's not just the two people who break up. It's like all the people in common have to now decide who they want to be friends with. And that has happened. And you might have lost people just as a sort of collateral damage from the breakdown of that relationship, whatever it was. And then we have this little lady, Two of Pentacles. Now she is a workaholic. She likes to stay busy. She's just somebody who is on the move, working. Maybe she works a little bit too much to distract herself. It distracts her from all the issues that are going on in her head and that she's not resolving. Maybe the figure in the mirror, she's not looking at it because she's too busy working, That's a way to deal with it. A lot of people deal with trauma and pain and suffering by just putting themselves to work. And you know what? That's not necessarily a bad thing if you're doing it in a positive way. If you're working in some capacity that is positive, it's not necessarily a bad thing. However, this is also a reminder to pace yourself, to make sure that you keep your balance. This is the balance card. This is the card of balance. So as long as you can keep your balance and you're doing something positive, whether it's taking care of your family, your kids, working, building something, whatever it is, if you're doing something positive, you may be doing it. Just recognize that you may be doing this because you don't want to deal with whatever happened here, and you don't want to deal with this whole sense of existential crisis kind of thing where you're not sure what's going on in the world. You're like, well, if I can just take care of this little business, I'm in control, That can happen. And I think that for me, this has always been a very interesting card, because the Two of Pentacles, the Pentacles is a earth sign. It's an earth suit, but she's balancing herself on water, which is very interesting because, again, water is symbolic of emotion, feelings. So this is an earth sign balancing herself on water. And this is, again, a sign that she's trying to get herself through these tumultuous emotions and keep her balance by working and also by being distracted with all the work that she's got, right? So she's juggling different things, different roles, parent, mother, caregiver, worker, boss, so, manager, driver, cook, whatever it is. And she's trying to keep it all together. And that's okay. You can do that, but you can't lose sight that someday you're going to have to deal with this in one way or another, whether it's through therapy or through taking some time out, doing some self-care, taking some kind of vacation if you can, finding somebody to watch the kids so you can have a night off. And you're going to have to figure out, just sit in this space. Find a way that you can be in this space, whether it's some kind of spiritual retreat, some kind of spa, or some kind of religious ritual you can do. It can be very helpful. Whatever it is that you practice, it's a good idea. I'm going to just pick one more card just to kind of wrap this up. I feel like there should be one more card here. I'm going to just pick a random card from the middle of the deck. We have 8 of Cups. So I'm going to read the 8 of Cups from the book just to get a grounding, and then we'll go into an interpretation. Questing. 3 cups stand at the water's edge, yet 5 are mysteriously mirrored back in the still water. Beyond them, a crescent beach sweeps out to a point. A slender figure strides along the shore carrying a walking stick and a small pack. A dense mangrove shields the beach from the mainland. Sometimes we find life dragging us down. Nothing satisfies, and we feel weary to the bones. Things may look fine on the surface, but inside we are empty vessels, drained of our enthusiasm. A bitter loss or disappointment may have brought you to this point, or maybe just a vague sense that something is missing from your life. The heart's yearning for a deeper meaning cannot be ignored. The 8 of Cups calls you to begin a spiritual quest, to withdraw your energy from the world to be more present with your inner life. Whether you hike up the Himalayas or retreat to your room, give yourself plenty of time alone. Creative solitude is the single most important thing that will help replenish your joy in living. You may also bring back greater self-awareness, spiritual insights, and possibly a whole new set of values. How perfect is that? Randomly picked card works perfectly with the rest of the reading because you've been through a lot of crap here. Someone broke your heart. Somebody broke your trust. It changed your whole perspective in life, turned your world upside down, made you rethink everything, made you lose sight of even who you are yourself. So you got more and more busy and you kept yourself busy as much as you could and kind of put in the back burner, figuring out all this stuff like, what are you going to do now? What does it all mean? But at some point, you're going to have to take some kind of spiritual quest to go within and figure it out. And that will require you to be in creative solitude with something creative. You're really going to need that. Maybe you can start working towards that. Saving money, planning it, a trip. I'm seeing a trip. This is also the card for like a vacation, a retreat of some kind. And she definitely needs a vacation sometimes. So whether it's going to some kind of beach or something where there's nature, preferably near a body of water, I think it would be a good idea. So we've got swords, pentacles, and cups. We've got these 3 different suits here, plus the hanged man. You have a nice balanced life coming up for you. Once you find a way to spiritually integrate the lessons that this terrible part of life was supposed to teach you, you can have a beautiful life. Yes, perspectives turn upside down. No big deal. Yes, you have responsibilities and you are somebody who lives up to them, and you will continue to. And that's something you can be proud of. But you also need a break and you need time alone for yourself to take care of you. You deserve that. That's what I'm getting out of this reading. This is a beautiful deck. There are other images that are a little bit over 18. This is not a deck for kids, but it's a beautiful deck. If you want to purchase it, please use my affiliate links that I'm going to leave down at the description. I hope that this was useful. I hope that this resonated for you. Come back again and I will do another reading for you. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other and have a sweet infinity.